Welcome to Let's Get Into It. I am your host, Sherelle Higgins. Let's Get Into It is a safe space to have real conversations that are meant to uplift, encourage, and let you know you are not the only one dealing with life. Each episode of Let's Get Into It is designed to provide illuminating and thought-provoking information on a variety of topics. In fact, no topic is off limit. If you would like to see a topic discussed, please feel free to make a recommendation. My special guest and I will have a great time discussing topics that the mainstream media wouldn't dare discuss. We will bring these conversations to you with an open mind, respectfully, from different perspectives, and most importantly, with love. Thank you for joining me and my special guest. Now, let's get into it. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Let's Get Into It. I am your host, Sherelle Higgins, and I am just tickled pink behind the topic for today. My special guest today, we are going to talk about natural hair care. And the irony of that is that she nor I have a lot of hair. And so, however, we are going to talk about natural hair care and the importance of it and the significance of it and what it means to us. So, before I bring my guest to the front, let me just tell you a little bit about who she is. Her name is Malika Tamu Cooper. She says, just call her the Oprah of natural hair care industry. For her legacy is long and strong. She is a native of Baltimore, Maryland, and a pioneering trendsetter in her industry. Is a natural hair care master, entrepreneur advocate, winner of the National Golden Scissors Award for 3 consecutive years. She is also affectionately known by many as the Lock Mama. Her resume includes founder, owner, and operator of Dreads and Heads Natural Hair Care Center, founder of the 15 Stop Natural Hair Care Evolution Tour, owner and operator of Dreads and Heads Natural Hair Care Center, and founder of the founder of the 8 Stop Exodus Tour, founder of the Happy Nappy Day. Okay, come on, Happy Nappy Day. Remember when you all were in school and they used to say we used to have them nappies at the back of our head? We used to call it a kitchen. And our moms used to put that grease on there and straighten it out with that straightening comb and just be sizzling your scalp. You remember. And also Poets in the Park and owner of multiple brands and product lines. When I tell you we are going to have a very interesting conversation today, we certainly are. And so without further ado, let me bring to the stage my special guest, Malika. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. You make me sound real good on paper.
Hey, we all are good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And one thing I love about us is once we set our sights on something, not only do we master it, we excel at it. And so
Absolutely.
I find it very interesting that you nor I have any hair to
Yeah,
talk
been there, done that.
about hair, but that's beside the point.
Right, exactly. Been
So
there, done that. It's the evolution. I look at it like this. When we grew our hair out back in the day and we had the pressing combs and the Marceau curlers and the Jerry curls and all of those different things, that was high school, middle school, high school. Then I locked my hair for almost 30 years.
hmm,
And that was like university. Now, walking around like this, baby, I got hair? What?
it's
No,
freedom.
thank you. Yes, it's a whole, this is master's, this is PhD right
Yeah.
here. So I totally understand. We don't, neither one of us had hair, been there, done that. I then wrote the book. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good with you. My granddaughter always, she's like, "You don't have any hair," and I'm like, "Nope, and never will. This is it for me. I'm not having any more hair. I can't."
Well, being bald, little kids look at me like they stare at me, and they looked at me and they said, "You don't have hair." I said, "Nope, I'm bald." But why? I was like, "Because I don't want hair." But why? I said, "Because I don't want it." What? Don't you want to look pretty? And that right there, that gets me because our children are never taught that they are just beautiful the way they are.
Yes, and nobody can tell me I ain't cute without no hair. So whatever.
Okay, okay, absolutely.
So, Malika, let's start with this. Okay, so I mentioned you were from Baltimore.
Hmm.
Tell our audience about how you started on this journey of natural hair care.
Whew. I have a kooky background, a really kooky background. My name is Malika Tamu Cooper. My mother was one of the first Black Panthers in Baltimore City.
Mm,
And my mother was very rebellious. She rebelled against everything my apostolic grandmother and my Catholic grandmothers ever put out there. So my grandmothers would come and get me. They would shampoo my hair, press it out, put sailor dresses and black and white shoes on me, and put me in Catholic school. And then my mother, being the Black Panther that she was, would come and get me, wash my hair out, put it in two big African puff balls, put a dashiki dress around me and some sandals. And I grew up partially in a commune with other Black Panther cubs. Then my grandmother would come back and get me, the other one on the other side, and brush my hair back out and put big ribbons on it and sailor dresses and bobby socks and the ruffled panties. And then my mother would come back and get me again, and then I'm black. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. I'm like, Lord, what is going on? But I find that having that dual life when I was little helped me in my adult years. So when I graduated from high school, I went to Western High School in Baltimore City, and went to college. I realized how sheltered I was because I would meet these people from other countries, especially the Caribbean. They would be like, "Don't put the chemical in your hair, girl. Wear it natural." And then I go home, and my family would be sitting there with the perm in and the ooching and ouching and burning the follicles out and the straightening comb and fried dye laid to the side. Then I go back to school, and my Caribbean friends and my African friends would be like, "Don't eat the dead carcass, girl." And I go home, and my family is eating everything on the pig. I mean, everything from pig feet, chitlins, you name it. And then I would go back to school, and they would be like, you know, everything that was totally opposite from what I grew up. And I felt again more of that dual personality. So I decided when I was like probably 20, 21 years old, I didn't want to put any more chemicals in my hair. That was the height of the Jerry curl, and you
mm,
know how dripping wet that was. It was a mess. And I found that my hair grew longer, nicer when I didn't put a chemical in. I wore braids for like 6 years before I decided to lock my hair. And that was another spiritual journey for me. Now I'm talking 1991, 1992, 1993. And so I wasn't even allowed to be in my cousin's wedding because I wouldn't do something with my hair.
mm.
The hair has basically shaped my life for a long time. So I would go to New York, and I would study under people such as Adamola Mandela and Jane Carter. All of these people I met in New York. A sister named, she was Biggie Smalls' sister. Her name was her name is escaping me. It's been so long. And I would see them. I would get my hair done, and then I would come back home to Baltimore, and no one knew what to do with my hair in its natural state. They wanted to force me to put my hair in a chemical, or use a chemical, or try to make me conform, and that just wasn't me. So then I would go to DC, and I would meet people. Then I would go down to Atlanta, and I would meet people with natural hair, and they knew what to do. But all I knew how to do was braid since the age of 9. I didn't know all of the different natural styles that could be done because we were never taught as back in the day how to deal with our hair in its natural state. We've always been taught to kill the kink in our hair. So I started to study, and I started to study. Meanwhile, I'm working in white corporate America. And I found that there were a lot of people who were um, just like me, fiending for some place that would do our hair in its natural state. So after that, I was like, okay, why is it that I have to go to New York, to Philly, to DC, to anywhere else instead of getting my hair done right here in Baltimore? So I started in June 20th, 1993. I opened my salon. It's called Dreads and Heads Natural Hair Care Center. It's probably the largest natural hair care center on the East Coast. And I call it Dreads and Heads Natural Hair Care Center. I don't want no chemicals. I don't want no acrylics and fingernails. I don't want any of those things. It's you don't even smell chemical when you walk in. And this is before there were any charts with 4Cs and there are 4 types of hair: kinky, curly, wavy, and straight. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. And what I did was I started to um, teach some of my teens and my baby cousins and them also how to do hair. And then people were bringing me their kids. I was showing them how to do it as well. But before I opened my salon, I started in my kitchen. People were coming from everywhere wanting to learn how to do their hair and wanting their hair done. I found out I wasn't the only person in the ship. So from there, I moved from opening my salon to having 3 salons to traveling all over the world, teaching my techniques for natural hair. And the evolution of that was that I now know what products we should and should not use in our hair. So I started product lines. I have a 24-year-old trade show that I put on every year called the Baltimore Natural Hair Care Expo. I fly in people from all over the world to teach techniques for natural hair. I go into school systems and write curriculums now for natural hair care, how it should be taught.
Mm.
And now my salon is an incubator for teens because I'm trying to come off the floor, but something always seems to keep dragging me back. So my salon is I teach about 8 to 10 girls a year. I pour into them everything that I have in me, and those girls go off and open their own salons. They never have to flip a burger. They buy houses. They buy cars. They start their own businesses. They learn what products to do, what products not to use. I mean, it has turned into me paying it forward for the next generation. So that's just a little bit about how I got into natural hair care.
Yes, and you mentioned something I think that most of us can relate to, and that is getting our hair done in the kitchen, right?
Oh,
I
hmm
know I had a many a days in the kitchen with my
every,
mother. Um,
every year for Easter, my ears were burnt up with that Dax hair grease and that straightening comb, and ooh, and it was a ritual for us. On Friday night, every other Friday, you got your hair shampooed. Then she would sit there and detangle it and put it into 4 to 6 big braids till it dried out overnight. And then you got your hair pressed for church on Sunday morning.
yes, and so
Hmm
it's interesting. You mentioned the Jerry curl era. I remember as a young teenager, the Jerry curl was the hot new thing to do. And
And
my
it's coming back out now. It's called a
oh,
Jenny curl.
it's called what?
The Jenny curl.
Oh, well, I don't want
Hmm
Jenny or Jerry,
Yeah,
but
they can keep it. They can keep it.
yeah, when Jerry was out, my mother tried to get me to do it, and I was just like, I didn't know. I think when I think back on it at that age, I didn't know why, but I was just like, no. But I did have a boyfriend or two
Hmm
who had Jerry curls.
hmm
So
Right.
and I have a girlfriend that we have a picture of her when she had her Jerry curls. So we clown her about that.
Well, that was the elementary education of our hair. There was the gentleman who invented the Jerry curl. His name was Dr. Willie Merle. He just died about a year and a half ago. His daughter Cheryl Merle has taken over his legacy, but they realized that our hair needed moisture, and so they overdid it with the activator and the rods and things like that. They overdid it, but they realized that our hair needed moisture, and that was the elementary infancy stage of the products and things that we have out now.
Mhm. So let's talk a little bit about the era of when Black women in particular started getting relaxers or perms.
Mhm.
That was just like the thing to do with your hair. Get a relaxer, regardless as to what texture of your hair was. Um,
Mhm.
we just got relaxers. And I have since found out, since I haven't had a relaxer probably in 12 or 13 years. Um,
Mhm.
but I'd say to my hairstylist often that if I had known back then what I know now about my hair, I probably would
Mhm.
have never gotten a relaxer.
This
And so
is true.
let's talk about the relaxer era. I know a lot of Black women in particular are now going with their natural hair, and
Mhm.
not necessarily using relaxers, particularly because of the data that's coming out saying that it can cause all sorts of cancers and whatever.
Mhm.
But back then, we didn't know any better. And so
Right,
everybody,
and back then the products were a little more different as well.
mm,
So let's back it up before, and that's again I like to use that word called evolution. Okay, so there's a book also written by Dr. Willie Merrill called 400 Years Without a Comb. I suggest you read it. It's a small little paperback. It's probably in its 10th edition by now. He wrote the book, and I think 61 or 62, the original. So where this is where I got a lot of my education from is that when we were brought over here, we weren't able to practice the practice hair practices that we had back on the motherland, where we would the intricacy of the braiding was fabulous because they would put maps and tribes, and the way the hair was braided will tell you where you came from, what tribe you belonged to, what language you spoke to, all of those different things. Spoke all of those different things. But then when we were brought over here, we somehow lost it, and they termed our hair dreadful locks of hair because again they didn't have the education as to what was kinky, what was curly, what was wavy, what was straight, which is a segue into colorism.
mm,
Colorism. You know that if you're light, you're right. If you have the straight hair, our parents used to pinch our noses and do things like that to make us look more Eurocentric, because white folk did not understand the Afrocentricity of our hair. Depending on where you're from, the tight curl pattern was so that the sun the coil would be so tight and grow close to the head so that the sun would block out some of the rays from the brain. But with the further away from the sun, the further away from the equator, the hair began to grow long, grow on your arms long, grow on your legs long. Hence, those people who have really strong, really long hair, and it turned and became and mimicked what we call fur. A lot of times we say that those of the non-melanated persuasion smell like what? Pets and dogs and things like that. But they that's because we have hair and they have fur.
mm.
Now, yeah, it can get deep. You want me to go deep? I'm gonna go deep with you. So after that, um, we began. They did this. If you ever look at the teachings of Dr. Ben said that there are three types of people: people of the ice, people of the sun, and people of the sand. So what grows in the ice? Absolutely nothing. But those people of the ice came down, took us, brought us to foreign lands, and we didn't no longer have our practices. And then they also did a mental number on us where they have told us that our hair wasn't pretty. They used derogatory terms such as dreadful locks. That's why I don't use the word dreadlock. I'll use the word lock, but I won't use the word dreadlock, or I'll use the word dread, referring to Rastafarianism and Haile Selassie and King Solomon, King Samson. Samson's life, she cut a lock of his hair.
Mhm.
I can get biblical with you and tell you where you can find locks. Numbers chapter 6, verse 5 in the Bible. So when they started doing those type of things to us, generation after generation after generation, and they started controlling the images that we see as to what was beautiful, we decided that we're going to do whatever it is we have to emulate that Eurocentric standard of beauty,
Mm-hmm.
including flat irons. The original flat iron was an actual iron that you stuck in the stove and you laid your head down on the ironing board and it pressed the curl pattern out of your head
Mm-hmm.
in order to have us again assimilate into a Eurocentric standard of beauty. And then once that stopped working, because once you got back out there in the field and that heat hit you or that water hit you and it reverted back to its what natural coil pattern because it is hair and not fur. And that coil pattern kicker, it shouldn't really be called a relaxer or a permanent because it's really what I call a temporary because
Yes.
it's going to go right back to its natural coil pattern. In fact, still to this day, if you wanted to go to cosmetology school and learn how to do natural hair care, they would only have a paragraph in their book
Mm.
about how to do natural hair care. And what they do is emasculate us in that way by um, we are born with a natural coil pattern in our hair. All right. Then we have to take a chemical or heat to take the coil pattern out, only to put the curl pattern back in to make us look like a Eurocentric standard of beauty.
Mm.
That doesn't make sense. So these younger generations, the Generation Z, the millennials, all of them right now are realizing, hey, I don't want your standard of beauty. I'm going to learn how to do my hair in its natural state, and I'm going to come up with products and things in my kitchen to help me to show you that I'm beautiful no matter what. Our
Mm-hmm.
race is the only race walking the planet of Earth that you have to tell us that we can't wear our hair in its own natural state.
Come on, let's get into
Okay.
it. Come on,
Yeah,
man. Let's get into it
our
because
race is
the
the only race that you have to invoke a law stating that we can wear our hair the way we're born. We had the Crown Act, which was shot down, still hasn't passed legislation about discrimination because you want us to become one with you, or you want us to adopt your way of living. And these younger kids nowadays are like, F you, no, hell no, I'm gonna wear my hair like this, and you better not say nothing. I'm taking you to EEOC. You
right.
know, you can't force me to poison myself with um, sodium hydroxide. I don't know if you know exactly what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Sodium hydroxide is lye.
Yes.
You want me to take lye and mutilate myself and my hair and my skin and burn myself so that I could look like you? That these young kids are like, heck no, we're not doing that. And you want me to put it so close to my brain and on my skin where it goes beneath the epidermis. And now later on, I find out I got breast cancer.
Oh,
I've got blood clots. I've got you name it, mineral poisoning. Because you want me, I might as well drink it. If you're gonna put it on my skin, I might as well drink it.
yes.
That's your way of killing us off. So you know, the reason that we started putting perms and things in our hair was because of the time. We're really only 3 generations out of oppression. My
Mm-hmm.
grandmother grew up doing Jim Crow. My grandmother grew up
Mm-hmm.
doing. She can't sit at the white table. Go in the back door. Don't drink from this fountain.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, and that's seasons after seasons after seasons and of telling them that they weren't beautiful. So when they came out with the Dark and Lovely because I'm worth it, and when they came out with the no lie perms, which was a lie because you need
Hold
to
on,
be
man.
a
Don't say
myself.
nothing about dark and lovely because I used to use that.
Yeah, we all did, and sat through torture sessions. If I hadn't named my salon um, Dreads and Heads, I was going to call it No Stress Zone. You understand the torture sessions that people go through with their hair
Oh,
because they were
absolutely.
never taught to work with the coil pattern, only to kill it.
Yes.
I mean, I can go there whenever you're ready because I'm gonna have to come back on here a couple times because the how they mess with our psyche and how we have to undo the brainwashing. But I applaud these young girls out here now. They got YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and they're showing each other how to take care of their hair right from their kitchen.
Yes. And you know what's I have a son and a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter still puts relaxers in her hair here and there. She doesn't do
Mm-hmm.
it as often as we were told to do it, right? But my
Mm-hmm.
son, of course, doesn't get relaxers, and he has his natural hair, and I twist his hair, and it is a lot of work. It,
Mm-hmm. It's a labor of love.
it takes me hours to do his hair, and he's my only client, and he knows that I absolutely hate doing his hair every time that I have to do it. But I
Well,
just
don't say that to him, because when you say I hate having to do his hair, you transfer that hate and that energy to him.
okay. So what should I say? I dislike it.
You no, you shouldn't say any of that.
I say
You
none of
should
that.
get him to no. Don't say I hate doing hair. You don't have to express
How he gonna
that to
know my
him.
feelings though if I don't tell him?
Okay, so he needs to find another stylist, because if you were working in my salon and you stand over my client,
I wouldn't say
you
that to any client. I only say
no,
that
that
because
don't make a difference. It's even worse that you saying that to your own child.
no,
You
it's
hate
not.
doing something about him.
Let
Okay.
me tell you why. Because the reason I do his hair is because if he goes to a salon, they
Hmm.
charge him so much. Like before he had all of his hair grow out, he had
How
just,
old is he?
he's 22. He had just like a fade and just at the top. They charged me
Hmm.
$75 just to do this part of his hair. And I was like,
Absolutely.
and I get it. People got to make their money and it's time
No,
consuming.
no, you're looking at it from consumer to business, not business to business. You need to learn that we are providing a skill.
I get that.
Shampoo, deep condition,
I
comb
completely
roll from root to tip, braiding. That's a skill.
I get it. I do. I understand it. I go to the hair salon on a regular basis because I get the value of going to a hair salon. But when you're talking about somebody's 22 who is trying to raise a family and they don't have $300-400 to put into their hair. And so that's the only reason why I do his hair. And
Hmm.
so he knows I just and I tell him I don't like doing this. This is not what I like. When my
Don't say
daughter
that to them.
don't say that. Well, what am I doing?
No,
Am I supposed to act like I
you,
like it?
you know, you know. Sometimes the best thing is to not say something at all. Are you providing a service for your son? Do you
I
love your
am.
son?
Am I supposed to act like
Then
I like it though?
you can you don't have to act like anything. You can just not say anything. Silence is golden. But if
Oh,
you were standing over my head and you tell me, I just hate to do this. You got so much hair. This is just too much of you. I wouldn't want you to do my hair.
okay. Well, I wouldn't be mad if he said I don't want you to do my hair no more.
Okay, and then so at 22 years old, mommy cut an apron string. He'll have to put that money aside, just like a bill, to
He
get
don't.
his hair like something.
He doesn't have it to put the aside. That's the whole point.
Then he has a hairstyle that he can't afford.
That's exactly right. But
Right. So but you can
and
afford a haircut.
and because I have that skill, right, I do it for him. But I that ain't something I look forward to. It's a lot of work, and so I respect hairstylists, particularly those who deal with natural hair, because the hair salon I go to, there's a lady in there who does natural hair, and I see the work that she put into it, and I see the time it takes. So I respect it completely. I'm just saying I don't like it for
Right.
me and I'm
Okay.
not about how much people charge for it because it takes time. And if you have natural hair and you get dreads or locks or twists or braids, that take extra time than it.
Absolutely.
And so I get it from that perspective, but the fact that I'm
Hmm.
doing it, I don't particularly care for it. But I'm gonna try not to say it no more. So thank you. I
Don't
take
say stuff like there's a such thing as transference of energy.
okay.
In the natural community, we are a little more sensitive. It's not assembly line hair. This is a labor of love. These are our antennas to the universe. This is our hair. This is what grows. The hair is an appendage of the skin. Okay, something that grows out of the top of our head. It's sacred. And then for you to touch my hair and say, I hate to do this. This looks like a carpet. Oh, blah 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 blah. I don't like this.
I,
Keep that.
I just say I don't like the. I just say I hate doing your hair because it takes so
Okay.
much time, and I don't
Because
feel like it. And so that is. But I will accept the feedback,
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
he already know I
Try
hate.
doing it with love because it's a bonding time between you and your son.
Yes, yes, bonding time. Just what we need, more bonding time. So let me
Absolutely.
ask you this. So you've been doing hair for 25 plus years,
Mhm.
and you
Almost 40.
almost 40. Wow.
Yeah, my salon is 38 years old.
Okay. And so when you said you had dreads before, so what
Locks.
made
Mhm.
locks?
Mhm.
What made you
So
cut your
there's three types of locks. There's three types of locks. Number one, you have uncultivated. Uncultivated looks like Bob Marley. It's no better, no worse, no anything. It is a different type of lock that people prefer. Then
mm-hmm,
you have cultivated locks, which is what I had, where I took time to make them neat, even, and consistent. I groomed them on every 2 weeks to 3 weeks basis, kept them clean,
mm-hmm,
neat, even, and I was able to style them. And then there's a custom lock, which is hot right now, which is I do all day long, which is sister locks, micro locks,
okay.
wick locking, things like that. Okay. So what made me cut my hair? I grew my hair up almost 6 feet for 28 years.
Mm,
And number one, I was embarking on a spirituality when I started started locking my hair. And like I told you, it's like locks and it's like high school or college, and then like being bald was like uh um sorry, being bald was like a PhD. I'm sorry, my one of my clients walked up to me. I had to send him away. So being bald was like being on a PhD, and so my hair grew so heavy that it began to slide back off of the side. My temples began to gradually recede all the way back past my ear
mm,
because of the weight of it. And I also, in my study of natural hair care, I studied iridology and I studied homeopathy. So this area of the head here in the temples is reproductive organs. This area of the head here on top, high blood pressure, diabetes.
mm.
Towards the back there is thyroid. On this side, kidney. On this side, colon. So when you get older, you start to have problems with certain organs. It reflects in the scalp.
Oh,
So I found out I had a fibroid. You know, if you ever see a woman who's nursing her hair thins wear and sheds
mhm.
wear at the temples, those women who are on high blood pressure medication, the hair on the top, it begins to thin on the top where you can just hold it up and look straight through it.
Oh,
If you have a problem with um, diabetes, when you shampoo the hair, you'll see a gray, uh, light graying on top of the scalp. That's candida and sugar coming out in the top of the scalp.
mm.
So the body is so miraculous that the scalp and the feet will tell you everything that's going on within you.
Mm.
You've seen reflexology in your feet, and then you'll see that same reflexology in the scalp. So I was diagnosed in 2016 with type 2 diabetes. I changed my diet so much so that I don't really have any problem with it. All hair problems are blood disorders. All hair problems are blood disorders. High blood pressure is a blood disorder. So if you take high blood pressure medication that is a beta blocker to slow the heart down and not make the capillaries and things like that expand, it will show in the softest part of your head, right on top. That's what happens with um, that particular blood disorder. If you have diabetes and you take stuff like Ozempic and Manjaros and things like that to stop the sugar in your body, or the organ which is the liver, to stop it from making bile, which eats up the sugar, that's going to reflect in the scalp.
Mm.
If you there's another thing too with teeth. If you have a problem with teeth, teeth can make the blood toxic. If you have like abscesses and things like that, the hair will fall out. So what my problem was, why I cut off my almost 6 feet long locks, was because number one, I developed traction alopecia. The weight of my hair was just when it was wet, it was almost 14 pounds of wet hair
Mm.
hanging off of my head. I used to have to tie my hair up on my back, and it just became a labor of love. So when I graduated from high school into PhD of being bald, I woke up one day during the pandemic. I cut that timeline of hair off. I freed myself metaphysically, and I entered into a new community of being bald. And there are a ton of us beautiful bald black women out there in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I walked into a room of 500 black female entrepreneurs at BaldyCon in Annapolis. I walked up to and I went there, and it was so freeing. It was so beautiful. It was um, BaldyCon happened during alopecia month in September, and I walked into the room with all of these beautiful black women, all shapes, sizes, colors, they all had survived alopecia, and it was fabulous. It was absolutely, positively, what I just bust out in tears. So I decided after going to BaldyCon that I wanted to do one just like I did with the Baltimore Natural Hair Care Expo. I wanted to do one right here in Baltimore. So this weekend coming, August 8th through the 10th, 2005, at the Doubletree by Hilton, BWI, you will see the first inaugural Be More, short for Baltimore, Be More Bald Expo. We have over 100 women signed up. We're going to have on the first night a bald mixer. So those sisters who have weak and thinning hair, missing hair, patches, alopecia, you name it, if you're just bald by choice, um, we don't know why. I mean, even if you have a low cut or if you're just bald friendly, you need to come out to the bald mixer. We're going to let our no hair down. We're going to wear our bald friendly t-shirts. We're going to have private shopping. We're going to act just like we did when we were little and we didn't have a care in the world. And
Mm.
we're going to play jacks. We're going to play spades. I got a bat and ball competition going
Okay.
on. Remember the bat and ball? We're going to
Yeah.
have that. We're going to play Old Maid, Go Fish, all of that. We got these uh, styrofoam wig holders that we will be putting a wig on. We will be painting it and then adorning our bald heads. It's going to be freaking fabulous. Then the next day, which will be August 9th at 9 a.m., we're going to have soca aerobics, a little bit of yoga. Then we're going to have our classes. Number one, meet the esthetician for skincare. Number two, meet the makeup artist. Number three, meet the trichologist. We have Dr. Brandy coming, and she's going to run a this machine that she has where she can see beneath your skin, where she can see um, your follicles. That's meet the trichologist. We're going to have meet the esthetician, meet the trichologist, meet the barber. We have a sister coming, a brother coming all the way from, and sister and brother coming all the way from Temple Hills, Maryland, and they have these units. If you're not ready to go bald and you want to have put a unit on a handmade unit that you would never know was your own hair, was your hair. It's going to be fabulous, and we're going to awaken people to what it is to be beautiful and bald and beautiful and natural.
Yeah.
Then on Sunday, that Saturday night, we have a bald gala. We're having a bald fashion show. Bald, you name it. We're going to get dressed up, take pictures, and go out for a night on the town for our bald night out gala. And our finale is on Sunday between 11 and 3. We're having Be Bald Bout It brunch and the final shopping. So it's going to be a whole weekend. I invite people to go to BMORE. That's BeMoreBald.com. Get your tickets, show up, pay at the door. I don't care. Be bold, be bald, and be there.
Okay. I like that. Be bold, be bald, and be there. Yes.
Yes.
So let me
Mm-hmm.
ask you this. You said you had almost 6 feet of dreads, uh,
Locks. Mm-hmm.
of locks. How
Mm-hmm.
tall are you?
5'9".
Okay. All right. That explains it. Okay.
And I went through a whole bunch through my hair going in the toilet at Walmart. I went through my hair getting caught between my butt cheeks, my hair getting caught in the door. My ex, he rolled over on my hair. It was a labor of love. But he never once said to me, "Oh, I don't like your hair."
Okay. And that's
Mm-hmm.
interesting because one time I had some braids, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt the
Hurt, didn't it? Hurt, didn't it?
it didn't. I don't know that it really hurt at the time, but what I did notice was that when I had to get it wet or wash my hair, it was just so
Mm-hmm.
heavy. And my braids were
Absolutely.
shoulder length. So I was just
Mm-hmm.
trying to imagine as you were talking about having almost 6 feet of
Of
hair,
your own hair, of your own hair.
and it gets wet.
It's a
Um,
mop, a mop you can't run from.
so you just used to let it air dry.
Or I could sit under the dryer for about 2 hours. But if I
Uh,
let it air dry, it took about 2 days to dry.
okay. Okay. And so with the locks, um, what advice do you give people in terms of taking care of them?
Shampoo frequently. Locks are not dirty, people are dirty. And
Okay.
what's happening is these young kids are out here giving locks and natural hair a bad name because they refuse to shampoo.
Mm.
Shampoo frequently. Locks we deserve water and deserve moisture. Natural hair deserves water and deserves moisture. So shampoo frequently. Hair is skin, scalp is skin. Hair is an appendage of the skin. And
Hmm.
so many times they come in, sometimes they say, oh, I only do my hair once a month. And I said, well, let's do the math. Now, do you not agree that this skin here is the same skin that's here, right? The same skin here is the same skin that's here, right? It just don't detach some kind of way. So how often do you shower? I shower every day. I said, wonderful. Okay, so how often do you wash your hair? Well, I only wash my hair once. You can tell me that there's 12 months in the year and you only wash your hair 12 times a year. That
Hmm.
is absolutely foul. That is very nasty. That is just freaking horrible. So when we were younger, we washed our hair every 2 days. I mean, every 2 weeks. Every other Friday, I got attacked in a tub with a pitcher of water, right?
Hmm.
And a big old huge bottle of that Irish Spring or what was Mrs. Irish, what was that dang soap and stuff that used to float in the water? Ivory soap and the Jergens shampoo. Remember that? We had all of that, those type of things. And that's what happened with us. And our hair grew nice and long and my grandmother had two long braids. And everybody has a story of how their hair they got an aunt that's got a hair all the way down to her butt. Well, that was me. I was this generation's aunt that had hair all the way down to her butt. Mine was just in locks, and my family members had just their natural hair because they knew how to take care of it.
Hmm.
But now there's somewhere along the line we've gotten lazy, and they'll braid it up and put a weave over it. Eurocentric again, standard of beauty. Put a weave over it. Leave it for 3 months at a time. You take it out. There's bits and mites and skin and it's just horrible fungus, bacteria, all of those type of things is growing under there. And it, again, I think it's something wrong with us and the images that we see when we feel more comfortable in someone else's hair than our own. We don't
Hmm.
take the time. Oh, it's just easier than. So you mean you're lazy about shampooing your hair? Oh, I don't know what to do with it. Then learn what to do with it.
Right. So let me ask you
Uh-huh.
this. So you mentioned the wigs and the weaves. That seems to be like couple billion-dollar industry for Black women.
Yeah, absolutely. From black women, you know that black women will. Oh, you get paid every 2 weeks. Let's say if you had a real job, you get paid every 2 weeks. I can't see myself ever in a real job, but here we go. So you get paid every 2 weeks, and they will budget it out like it's a bill. Here
Yes.
is the money for BG&E. Here's the money for um, my telephone. This is the money for this clothes, and this is the money for my weave.
Yeah. So I
Like
know
it's a bill.
getting a weave is extremely expensive.
Absolutely.
Yet we find the money to make it happen.
Exactly.
Um,
Hence,
at the
hence
beginning,
your, hence, excuse me, but hence your 22-year-old. But go ahead, I'm listening.
okay. Hey, you got. me with that one. But at the beginning of this year, I decided I was going to do something a little different to my hair.
Mhm.
So I had my hairstylist do a quick weave.
Mhm.
I am of the age of menopause.
Oh, them hot flashes came on, huh?
Child, when I tell
Mhm.
you, I woke up
Mhm.
in the morning and that hair was stuck to my face. It was wet. It was so disgusting.
Mhm.
I immediately, like, I don't even think I had it in for a full week. I immediately went in and was like, take this out of my hair. And if I ever come in here
Mhm.
and ask for it again, don't do it. Because
Mhm.
it was a lot. And so when I often see women with the weaves and the, I guess, the quick weaves or the long braids and this down by their butts or beyond their butts. And I just often be thinking a couple things. Like, one, how do you manage that? Two,
Mhm.
like when you're in the bed and like
Mhm.
how do you what do you do with your hair to keep it from being in the way when you
They
roll?
wear those bonnets out in the street.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's a whole different conversation than bonnets.
Yes, Lord. Bonnets and pajamas out in the street.
Oh my God, that's a whole
I
different
would
conversation.
never be caught dead in the street with a bonnet and the pajamas on.
Yeah,
I don't
me.
understand.
Yeah, no.
That is the lack of having a big mama like we used to have. You better not walk out that door and not look like you represent this family. You will be
As
neat,
my mama
clean, and
used
well
to,
groomed.
as my mama used to say, you better not leave this house looking any kind of way. And
Exactly.
we never explained what any kind of way was, but we knew
You
not to leave
know.
the house looking any kind of way. And so,
Hmm.
and we're still like that to this
And
day.
you do not go outside in hair rollers. They
No,
do
that's
that
any
too.
kind of
Yeah.
way. That's any kind of way. Do people still use hair rollers?
They use now the upgraded ones called flexi rods.
Okay, yeah, uh-huh.
Hmm.
Okay. And so with the as you mentioned, like some people get weaves and they wear them for months on end,
Hmm.
until
Hmm.
it just started looking so bad that they just gotta go get it done.
Or
Like,
it itches, or they get tired of banging themselves in the head, and
so what's the
hmm
sweet spot with that? Like, if you get a weave, what's the sweet spot in terms of how long you should keep it and before you switch it out or get it shampooed and redone?
well, I'm not a cosmetologist. I'm a natural hair care specialist,
Okay.
and I would hope that they would have something that they can clean it while it's on. But eventually, you're going to need soap and water.
Hmm.
So I would suggest that they shouldn't leave it in more than 4 to 6 weeks at a time.
Okay.
Or there is a such thing as dry shampoo. I don't know if you know what dry shampoo is. With old people, they use it in the nursing homes. The dry shampoo is like equivalent to your hand sanitizer to clean the
Yeah.
scalp.
Hmm.
So I would suggest to do that, but eventually, like I said, you're going to need soap and water.
Okay. And if I'm a natural hair person and I'm not putting any chemicals in my hair,
Mhm.
I like my hair. I like the coil of my hair. How do I
Mhm.
know what type of hair I have? Is it, how do I know if it's a what is it, 4C or whatever the numbers are? Uh,
Right. So if your hair is kinky, curly, wavy, and straight. So many times I get these people that come in with um, a picture of Beyonce and their hair looks like Whoopi Goldberg, you know. And I have to do a whole educational thing on them. I have to teach them number one, their coil pattern, then
mhm.
what products goes with their coil pattern, what's their texture. I assess their texture, their density, and I give them different styling options for their coil pattern. Mousse
Okay.
is just not going to get it, you know. Um, and I teach a class called Choosing Products Wisely. I also
Mm,
teach a class called I'm Natural, Now What? Okay. I'll cut out the perm, I cut out the relaxer, now what? So we teach them three things: sanitation, hydration, and protection.
mhm.
I also teach them choosing products wisely. Stay away from a lot of the Asian beauty outlets because those people have an entire different ethnic background and they do not know what's best for our hair. And I often do this example. I'll say, um, how many of you in this class have ever cooked? Oh, the women was like, oh gosh, yes, I cook. I cook all day long. I said, have you ever made carrots? Yeah, I put carrots and I put brown sugar on my carrots and stuff like that. I said, okay, good. I said, have you ever seen a carrot make oil? No, carrots don't make oil. I said, so why do you go to the beauty outlet and let them sell you carrot oil?
Mm.
So
Mm.
then we get into the first five ingredients that's in a product. The first five ingredients are the main ingredients that's in a product. The first five, if it says petroleum, what is the root of the word petroleum? Petrol. What is petrol? You put it in your car every day. So do you want to put something on your skin, which is the largest organ in your body, and you want to put petroleum-based, gas-based products on
Mm.
your skin? The skin doesn't know what to do with it. So and it doesn't know how, so it blocks it. The pores close up, and then pimples begin to form. Right? Even in the
Mm.
scalp, on the back, on the neck, all of those type of things. So again, you don't want to put anything in your hair that you cannot eat. So I suggest castor
Mm.
oil in the wintertime, olive oil in the summertime. Castor oil based products.
Well,
Castor oil is very good for you.
that's really interesting because I know along with a whole lot of other people, we go through so many products trying
Product
to
junkie.
find the product for
Mm-hmm.
our hair. I know
Mm-hmm.
I went through a lot of products. My son has a different grade of hair than I do, and so does my daughter. And so just
Mm-hmm.
trying to find the right products cost me a fortune to
All
figure
right.
out how to get their hair done. So,
Right. So you never thought you would be ever use algebra, right? You
right.
never thought so A is you, your daddy, the daddy is B equals who?
See.
C. And then you could have so many different types of hair on top of your head. There's so many different coil patterns. In the top, you can have a different coil pattern. Front around the edges is a different one. Then you might
Yes.
have this wispy or stuff. That's some ancestors that's speaking to you all at one time. So, or the product according to your pattern.
Yes,
Okay.
because
So, so,
I definitely noticed
so
that my
those
coil, I definitely noticed that my coil pattern is different here versus around here.
things.
Um,
So
but so,
notice this: hair grows, kinky hair grows up, curly hair grows out, wavy hair and straight hair grows down.
mm,
So you have to
okay.
decide a question. So if you were to put hair grease in a hair that already grows down and weigh it down, then the hair is going to look stringy and oily.
Mm,
Caucasians, those of us of the non-melanin persuasion, shampoo our hair frequently to stop bugs, to stop the oil buildup from the sebaceous glands.
mm-hmm.
You ever heard that we age beautifully as black women?
Oh, absolutely, because black don't
Okay,
cry.
so you can take your finger, put it on your nose, and look at it. And what's that? Oil,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which keeps the elasticity in our skin, and we age younger, slower than they do.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they use a lot of um, sea sea breezes and astringents and things like that to stop the amount of oil. Their diets are different than us, right? They use a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Their diets are different than ours, and they eat a lot of dead carcass. They like dead raw carcass in their colons, and then it shows in the scalp, and then it shows in their hair.
Mm.
Yeah, whereas we don't base our meals heavily on big pieces of beef and things like those. Those of in our culture who do that find themselves sick quick, and it
Okay.
will all show out in the scalp.
All right. Run through the four types of hair again for me. You got your kinky, your wavy,
Curly,
your curly.
curly, kinky, curly, wavy, or straight.
Kinky, curly, wavy, and straight. Okay.
Hmm.
And so I get a visual. I have seven sisters, and so
Hmm.
we each have a different grade of hair. And
Hmm.
so I'm thinking about the types of hair we all have according to
Hmm.
those four categories. Uh,
Uh-huh. And probability. And probability. Just like there's a little girl on that you see on the internet a lot. She has one blue eye, one brown eye.
I haven't
You
seen.
know, yeah, yeah. There are a set of twins. One has blue eyes, one has one blue, one brown eye. Probability too, as far as chromosomes and things like that is concerned. Like your daddy may have kinky hair, and your mommy may have a softer, straighter hair. But this particular daughter, number one, hair follows the mother most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
99% of it. But that one chromosome may decide to pop up, be dominant in the second sister, and she may have the kinkier hair, and the next one may have three different types of coil patterns on hair. That's probability.
Okay, that makes
And the
sense.
other things play into how your hair grows, and how besides genetics, other things go comes into play, such as um, you will have lifestyle. So let me just tell you this, because I told you I study iridology, homeopathy, and also the science of natural hair care. So the body heals the mind between 12 and 1. So if
Mm,
you ever decided to go to sleep between 12 and 1, the phone rings, ring, you can't go back to sleep again, right? Because the
right.
body hits the sleep pattern has been broken. The body heals the bones between 1 and 2. You ever lay there, get real comfortable, and get mad because you have to go to the bathroom, you get up and you stumble. Ooh, 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 ooh. You can't get the between 1 and 2. The body heals the bones. Between 2 and 3 in the morning, the liver kicks in, and the liver is a filtration system for the blood and for the body for all of that food and junk that you ate all day long. So what happens is the liver kicks in and it starts this miraculous cleansing from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And your feet begin to tingle sometime at night. And then it all collects in the liver so that when you go to the bathroom at 5 o'clock, you turn around and look and that urine is very dark and that urine you can smell it. Then you break your fast at 7 a.m. in the morning with fruit juices and water. I didn't say sugar, I said fruit juices or water. And
Mm-hmm.
then you eat at 8. When that cycle is broken or the type of food that you eat, the hair turns out to be really, really, really either coarse, the ends split because you're drinking sodas instead of water, sugar filled things instead of water. All those things happen in the hair. Okay. But you can learn a lot of these things when you come to the show, bemorebald.com, or look my salon up, Dreads, Dreadz, the letter N, HEADZ.com. You can look me up. My name is Malaika, Malaika, Tamu, Tamu Cooper, and .com. And, I do a lot of different things, educational symposiums. I'm teaching and starting on a class for young girls that never had the mommy classes that you and I probably had when your grandmother said, sit your behind down in some water, steam clean some parts. You are what you eat. Here, take this teaspoon of castor oil because we're gonna clean you out. The prune juice on Sundays you had that hallelujah poop by Monday. You know, those are
Malika,
the type of things that we've been missing.
I'm getting ready to transfer some energy because
Okay.
when we were kids, they used to give us their castor oil. It was
Yes,
the
Lord.
absolute worst thing ever. And
Absolutely.
I I didn't torture my kids with castor oil, but
Mm.
oh my God, I still remember it like it was yesterday. It was so
Every other Friday, castor oil or cod liver oil, because our parents, although they said that they were not educated, knew that you had to have what my grandmother called the hallelujah poop, that you had to clean some stuff out. Get some of that food. You've been eating all that candy. Come here, let me clean you out. And we look at me now at almost 60 years old. Skin, we don't have those problems.
right. So you and I, we sound like we're in the same age group. I like it.
Yeah. Mhm.
So look at there. It is already 7:29. The time
Mhm.
has gone by quickly. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Malika, for educating us about not only the significance of our hair, but the different ways that illnesses can show up in our hair. I did not know.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and so I was listening very intently. I have a little thinning right here in my hair. You probably can't tell on screen, but just a little bit of thinning in my hair because I am a type 2 diabetic and I also have
Hmm.
high blood pressure. And so I was listening when you were talking about that. This was a great topic, and I
Well,
think
I
that
hope that you invite me back.
I will. I will definitely invite you back because I can clearly tell that you are invested in this topic and you are passionate about it. And there's so much that we can learn from you about our natural hair. And not
Well, thank
only
you.
about it, but how to take care of it. So, with
Hmm.
that being said, I'm going to ask you to sit tight for me while I jump into my last segment of What the Hell. And then I'm going to end this stream.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Thank you. So let's get into it. What the hell? Who knew that you could tell so much about yourself just from your hair? And so, listening to Malika talk about what our hair tells us, we need to be paying attention. We also need to make sure that we embrace our natural hair because it is beautiful. It can grow long if that's what you want to happen. If you want to wear short, you could do that as well. Or if you don't want any at all, you could work with all of that. And let me just tell you what people say to me. People say to me, "Oh, you could wear your hair that short because of the way your head is shaped." Let me just tell you, whatever shape your head is, it is what it is. You can't do anything about it. So if you decide to remove a lot of your hair and wear short or bald, then you should do that and just embrace it and walk in your fabulousness. Do not let the shape of your head dictate how you feel about yourself and what it is you want to do with your hair. And if other people have issues with you and the way that you wear your hair, just ask them, what the hell? Because you know what? We are all individuals. And I could tell you this, when I was growing up, my cousins who on my mother's side, they are, not ignorant. And they used to joke me all the time about you got a big forehead. And now when I wear my hair like this, people always say you have the perfect head for that, kind of hairstyle, which is ironic considering how my cousins and my sisters used to joke me when I was a kid. And so it's a good thing that I have confidence in myself and I know what works for me. So instead of asking yourself, what the hell, let's get with this natural hair care and let's rock it and let's embrace it and let's roll with it. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. I was going to have a show in 2 weeks. I am not going to be broadcasting live in 2 weeks because I will be in Chicago chilling with my family. And so I don't want to have to try to figure out how to go live from Chicago, which I probably could figure out real easily, but I'm just using it as an excuse not to do the show. So, anywho, I will see you all in a month again. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for joining this episode of Let's Get Into It.